where to begin and where to get started with becoming what we become. Set yourself up for success and be present on your own team. So we want to be seen as coaches, as someone trustworthy and someone whose parents, they want our kids to swim for us, for all the coaches. So just having a good product in general, we'll get into further detail on that. Our owner, Dan, joined an economic development committee in Frisco to see what their future plans were, and that helped an awful lot in getting a lot of research. And then we were fortunate enough to have a member of our team that works for North Texas Ford. So we obviously naturally forged a relationship with that individual, and that kind of helped to get the ball rolling there. So moving on to.
There's a worksheet in front of you as well. So along the way, they kind of follow along with our slides. So if you get any great ideas for yourself or your team, there's just some questions on here that you can answer for yourself. So the first one is like, what are you doing to be engaged with your team? What are you already doing? What can you do better? Are you involved in your community? Are you with your Chamber of Commerce? Is there an economic development group that you can join? So those are just some things that you can think about getting started with your team.
And then again, who are your members of your team? Mm-hmm. Who do your members work for? What do they do for a living? And that's another great idea too, because we had one just right in our back pocket that we didn't know about, or that we knew about and used. So
next.
Yep. So learn your city and learn what is going on there. Learn where it's growing, if it's growing, what's going on in there. We're in Frisco, and our growth is exponential. We have several large companies moving in to that area that are actually building their headquarters, very close to us. And some of the companies that are already there are fairly prominent. We have Dallas Stars, NHL hockey team that has their practice facility there. We have a minor league baseball team in the Frisco Rough Riders, within a couple of miles. And then just recently, the Dallas Cowboys, might have heard of them. They built their practice facility 2 exits down, and coincidentally is called the Ford Center. So, having those businesses around, knowing your school systems. Frisco, Texas has 9 high schools, 16 middle schools, and 40 elementary schools. So obviously there's families, families galore going on there. So, and then also USA Swimming we used USA Swimming, and they provided information such as, what percentage of the houses there are college educated. What is the average household income in Frisco and the surrounding areas? How many people participate in the sport? What percentage are master swimmers? So, do your research on that as well. So anything to add?
Yeah, absolutely. In your cities, think about the businesses that you have there. It doesn't have to be something as big as Ford. We are very, very lucky to have Ford with us. But it could be something as simple as like a local donut shop having to compete against Dunkin' Donuts that has 50 locations and they only have 10. So think small, think big, think about your city. If you're in a small town, it's probably gonna be more local, but if you're in a bigger city, you have the access to larger companies. So again, back on the worksheet, if you have any ideas right off the bat of what businesses you guys have access to, go ahead and jot those down so you have this to take home.
All right, so who are we selling to? And this is kind of a two-part question. One, we're selling to the partner. So the first thing that they're going to want to know is visibility, and we're not going to need Google Earth to get that, and you're probably not going to find a trampoline at our facility if you do that. But that's just a credit to you there. We're located off a major highway, and you can see us from that highway. And that highway connects downtown Dallas and extends all the way up to Prosper, north of Frisco. And you pass the Dr. Pepper Center, which is where the Stars play. You pass the minor league baseball stadium. You pass the Ford Center in Dallas, or for the Cowboys. So we are right there. It just takes a turn to the head, and you see us. So. Next is apparel and team logo. Our name is on our logo, and that logo goes everywhere. It's on every single team item. So if you imagine a meet warm-up at a large meet, and we've got 6 to 8 lanes in that warm-up, there's the Ford logo swimming back and forth, 200 times for a half an hour. Also goes with us, wherever it travels. Here, it's prevalent. Travel meets, people going on vacations that happen to wear our, the logo. The logo travels with anybody that is a part of the team or is wearing it. Conferences, swim camps, whatever. The biggest interest that Ford had was, what is our community impact? What do we offer? What can we offer them? So, we offer lesson programs from, learn to swim for, 3-4-year-olds all the way up to, aqua size and everything in between there, the competitive team and masters team. So, it's not just the swim team, it's Texas Ford, aquatics, anything aquatics related. We also do a Special Olympics program. We do water safety classes. We have a community outreach program, which carries and represents the TFA name. We have a youth council that's made up of some of our older swimmers, and they do things like a school supply drive. They do in Frisco, they do an Adopt a Road program, and they're wearing that name out there. So, they were big on what can we offer them beyond just being a swim team.
Yeah, the community impact was the big part of it. Having people in the community picking up trash or donating to a school, or we have Frisco Family Services, which is a food pantry. We support those throughout the year, and with us supporting them, then Ford's supporting them because Ford's supporting us. So that was a really big interest on their part. So again, back to your worksheet, what is your team doing that you can present to your sponsor or your potential sponsor? Because they want to be a part of that. They want to be a part of you sending kids to swim camp or sending kids to Olympic trials or, your local state meet, the name travels. So that's what they want to see. Where are you going to go? And the big thing with us too is we're not just like a dealership in Frisco. Like we don't just have AutoNation or 5-Star Plano. We have North Texas Ford dealers, so it's a corporate, and so we're carrying that wherever we go. So that was the big part on that.
And then, it's not just to the to North Texas Ford as well. Texas Ford Aquatics started out as Frisco Aquatics. Coach Dan McDonough bought the team in 2009. So we had a change in ownership. And now we're pitching a change in our complete image. From a small team, with a very close family structure to we're about to blow up. And new logo, like I said, new equipment that has to carry the logo. We have an apparel policy, so every single practice suit must carry the TFA logo on it. Caps must be worn with the TFA logo at that practice. So, selling that to the team as well, it was a big part of this.
So think about things that if you take on a major name, what is that going to bring to your team, and how are you going to be able to help them? So again, we did have that apparel policy, and we're still working on making that implemented and get a lot of support in that. So they do have to have the TFA logo on an arena suit at practice and at competition and on their tech suits. So again, that was a big change for them, and we're very thankful to have the support that we do from our team, but it is something that is an obstacle.
Yeah, no, absolutely it is. Our members are no longer required to fundraise, but we do have a booster club and a youth council that they can choose to contribute to. And they're the ones that will, they are nonprofit, so they're the ones that do our flower sales. We're doing a golf tournament in 2 weeks. Items like that as well.
Okay.
A couple of the hurdles in the midst of this business deal with North Texas Ford, we're also building a facility. If you were here last weekend, you probably heard all about that at the owners meeting. And so the timing of the deal being closed and the building opening was pretty crucial, so we could have a nice smooth transition into our new facility. So the original thought was just selling the naming rights to the building. Ford wanted the naming rights to the team, so it was back to the negotiating table for that.
So think about what hurdles might come. Timing might not be, just because if you're not building a facility, then it's just about closing your deal. It took about 8 months for us to close with Ford, and luckily it all worked out to where the facility opened in October of 2014, and we took on that name. So think about things that could happen in your sponsorship deal that might hinder you from finishing it off at the point that you want to, whether you're building or not. And then financing, if they want something more or something less, you got to work with them on that as well.
And so, where are we now? We're 3 years into our new building being open. We sit at nearly 2,000 members. We have 675 on the competitive team, another 1,100 in a lesson program. We're approaching, I think we're over 100 in our master's program. We are looking to build yet another facility in in Prosper, which is north of Frisco. And we are looking to, there's also another North Texas dealership going into Prosper as well, so we'll be close to that as well. So it's, we've been able to take the ball, run with it, and continue to grow and continue to expand.
So if you think about if you have your businesses that we thought about earlier in the presentation, you can think about what benefits come from that. Part of a benefit with our partnership with Ford is our members do get a discount with purchasing at a Ford dealership. So there's things that you can take into consideration like that. It's called our X plan, and every member gets the chance to use it. So think about benefits to you, to your community, and then of course to your sponsor.
And then we've also, we partnered with Arena, with Children's Health Hospital, and with an insurance and business company as well. So we've been able to expand our partnerships as a result of this. So I think this has been covered a great deal, so we're not going to get too detailed on that. Several of the previous speakers have done an outstanding job on establishing partnerships and partnerships over sponsorships.